Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Today, would like to continue on our journey through supplements and what we generally recommend in our daily pack. And one of my favorites is the supplement we take in our evening pack, which is magnesium. I gotta say, I tend to make sure that when I travel in particular, that I take magnesium and it's one of the first things that I pack. I tend to have sluggish bowels, particularly when I'm traveling, so I always want to make sure that I have plenty of magnesium. So even in packs that I put maybe 2 magnesium capsules in our packs, I actually keep an extra bottle so that I have the availability to take extra, particularly when I travel. And I've started off taking 2 at nighttime, and now at times I'll take 3 or 4 depending on how things are going in my system. So just to let you know about magnesium, it's a mineral and it is generally what we would consider the yang to the yin for calcium. So in our body we have a couple of electrolytes that go together, typically sodium and potassium, and in the mineral department it would be calcium, magnesium, and tend to balance each other. And over time, magnesium tends to be depleted and is more needed in the body. We use magnesium it's a cofactor in about 300 to 400 different enzyme type reactions in the body, and so quite valuable and quite needed. And because our soils are depleted and have been becoming more and more depleted over time, we need more magnesium in our system. Now, you can get magnesium in dietary sources. You can get them in green leafy vegetables, nuts. You can get them in seeds. You can get magnesium in whole grains, although we don't recommend a ton of whole grains. Beans, peas, things like this also have magnesium. But again, because the soils are depleted, we really do need to supplement. Now, magnesium, besides being a cofactor in many of the enzymatic reactions in the body, they help regulate many things in the body: protein synthesis, muscle and nerve function, blood pressure and blood glucose control. And in doing all that, it is particularly important for energy production. It helps us take glucose or any of the carbohydrates in our body and prepare it for the electron transport chain that creates energy in our body in the mitochondria, where ATP, which is that energy molecule in the body. And so magnesium is quite vital for that. Most of the time when you're going to look for magnesium, if you were to go to CVS or to Walgreens, any place like that, you're going to find a fairly poorly absorbed form of magnesium, which is magnesium oxide. So we do not recommend that. We have a combination of different, what we call chelated versions of magnesium. So that is a chelated version of any mineral, means that it is attached to an amino acid. And in the case of magnesium, you can look for magnesium citrate. That's particularly good if you tend to be constipated. Stearate, gluconate, glycinate, maleate, different ones. If it has the ATE on the end of it, that means it's an amino acid, and that means that the magnesium is attached to an amino acid and is chelated. Recently, there has been a form of magnesium that has been discovered called magnesium L-threonate. And this crosses easily in through the blood-brain barrier into the brain and has been shown to improve learning abilities as well as memory, and particularly age-related memory, short and long-term memory. So this might be something that would be valuable for folks as we age. Magnesium threonate. We have it in a powder. You can also get that in capsules. So as you go out and look for magnesium, you can certainly, there's a wonderful product out there called Calm. I know for me that I do a lot of Epsom salts in bathing, and that is an absorption product that can help relax muscles. but also just the oral version in capsules. And you can take quite a few capsules, however many you need. I tell people, you titrate that magnesium dose until you get loose bowels, and then you back off. And that's kind of your dose. And as I have experienced, when you travel, when you're flying or you get dehydrated or your diet changes, oftentimes you need to supplement even what your baseline magnesium levels doses might be. So, very important mineral. We know that it's very important for bone health. In fact, instead of taking an overwhelming amount of calcium for bone health, in the past we have recommended doses as high as 15 milligrams for calcium, and now we've really kind of pulled back on that because we're seeing more and more calcium deposition in organs and in blood vessels, which we don't want to see. But we know that when we take vitamin K2 with our vitamin D, or just take K2 by itself, it helps keep calcium in bone and teeth. And therefore, really the biggest bulk of support that you want as far as supplementation for bone health would be the vitamin D, K2, and magnesium, not so much calcium. We tend to have enough total body calcium. It's just making sure that we get it in the right place. So we know that magnesium quite valuable for brain health. From a cognition standpoint, it helps with contractility of both muscle and nerve function, and that therefore it's going to help with cardiovascular health as well as neurologic health. And so magnesium is quite beneficial across the board for all of our aging issues as well as just normal function. So hopefully you have gotten a little bit of information as we've kind of walked down this lane of understanding magnesium. Until next week, just want you to know it has been a full year since we started doing Wisdom Wednesday. Cannot believe it. But next year we'll start with year 2, and would love suggestions if you all have things that you're interested in or are reading about. I think next week what I may do is talk a little bit about books and maybe some of the things that I'm reading, and share just some of the reading lists and books that are around that might be helpful today. I have an old reading list that's very dated at this point, so I need to update that, but I want to just share with you maybe some of the books and podcasts and websites that might be helpful for you. So we'll look at that next week. Until then, take care.